Hey guys, what's going on? We have another guestless episode for you this week, but I think you're still going to enjoy watching because you can watch me absolutely pop off about some boxes that apparently I am very defensive about. And we also went in a little bit about Alex's first baseball trip, which was interesting because of a couple different experiences there. So look forward to those conversations. And yeah, Crafty's up next.
Well, as you can see, we're still having tea.
Hey guys, welcome back to Craft Tea episode 29. We're coming after our Showboat Tell-All, or what was it? Our Expo Tell-All, I guess more specifically. The plan today was to try and grab a couple guests, but
that's the plan all the time.
yeah,
However,
I mean, it is.
You've married someone who has ADHD, and I don't ever keep to a schedule, not even trying a little bit.
I mean, it's quite the week this week. It's we knew it was going to be something, but we're getting through it. Definitely one of the things that we didn't touch on like as much during the Expo Tell episode is like the employee count right now, in that there isn't one. So we ended up on the way to Expo time losing our glitter production employee, which is essentially the one that puts the glitter in shakers. She has been pregnant and is a lot more pregnant than she was. So now the doctor recommended, maybe stop doing stuff. So we lost that. And then we lost the nanny, which that's like a twofer. So like the replacement for the nanny is our order packer, who's also was actually a really good fit for the nanny role because
doing
Alex
really
like,
good.
It's actually crazy how much Alex is thriving with the change, because in between Alex's like playtimes or whatever, normally she'd come in and like come running for the office and then come like begging for us, and that's a lot when you already know you have a lot to do.
Started.
Yeah, and then like trying to justify to your child like, hey, I'm too busy for you right now.
I'm working.
I don't want to say that, but like I am right now. Just got to get some things done.
Well,
you want toys? You gotta let me work.
Normal parents don't have that kind of environment either, where the baby's right there. Like Alex is right there. She can walk right up to her desk.
Yep.
That's not normal. That's not a normal situation for anyone. I mean, some people now that the pandemic, they're working from home, but still, I mean, we're in a very strange situation. So like, yeah, we get to see her all day, but other times we're like, I gotta work. Gotta go. Bye.
And it's great though that she's thriving in the change, because now when she walks into the office, it's like passing through. She's like, hi daddy, hi mommy.
Bye daddy, bye mommy.
See you later, I got things
bye couch,
to do.
Bye Chris, bye desk.
People to see.
Bye Kano.
Things to wave at. So that was like a plus and a minus. I think it was like a quality of life change upgrade for Alex, but we're
down 2 employees days before the expo.
Yeah, so then we lost our order packer, essentially there, one of. And then lastly, Sean, we lost with, that was a couple like different things we lost. So we lost wholesale, and then Sean was filling in for like most of the warehouse type stuff. Honestly, because we had like so many other things that we work on. Even down to answering the phones. Like, that was a joke, almost.
Oh, well, the phones
but,
are
like,
never
not
gonna
a
answer
joke.
again.
It was, like, a joke, but not a joke, because we're not people. Right?
No, not even a little bit.
I think, like, the whole not having to talk to people and everything that came from the pandemic was like you and I thrived, our personality traits, because we're like, oh, we like really don't have to see people and really don't have to like interact with people anymore. And then now like getting back into the swing of having to interact with people is not fun.
No, and that brings up another part is that we have to replace these employees, and I have been looking, but I've definitely not been looking as aggressively as I can, but it's very daunting. I don't want to do the interview. You don't do the interviews.
I used to.
It's like I hate it. I literally hate it. I can't explain it enough. And I hate after the hiring part because it's like, all right, we really don't know each other. Are you going to be good, or are you going to like be lost in the warehouse half the time? I'm not going to be able to find you. You're going to be on your phone. You're not going to... And it's always one or the other. And I have that problem because I can't correct people. And I don't want to. And I don't ever want to. So this is going to be really hard.
Oh, I know. I want to keep doing we'll both keep doing all the tasks until we figure it out.
Well, I got to figure it out soon because I packed orders today and I hate it. I haven't packed orders in a long time, and even that was just probably because people were sick and then on vacation and stuff, and before that
we normally record this
time.
First thing in the morning, but that had to get pushed because I shot my Quack Pack Craft. Spoiler alert, Quack Pack Craft. But I shot my Quack Pack Craft first thing this morning, which was supposed to be shot yesterday, but I had to work basically all the way up until the wire yesterday so that Lindsay could come in overnight, because that's the only time that she could come in. So now we're like trying to just accommodate any hours that we can for anybody to come in whenever they can to get as much as they can done when they can, because it's fucking insane right now.
Brandy Kent is here right now.
I'm absolutely living the meme with the fire. I had that, like the dog, and everything's fine. Everything's fine, and that's life right now. But it's fine.
We'll get through it. I mean, we got some really cool people to count. Brandy Kent is here right now.
Yeah, Brandy Kent's in there right now.
Kelly Finger was here yesterday and the day before.
The last 2 days, Kelly was here. That was very helpful. And like I said, Lindsay's been coming in whenever she can and working overnight if she can't make it in during the day, just so that we can kind of try to play catch up to get back at square one a little bit. Because like the expo really fucking was a lot. Like so much.
It wasn't as much as it could have been, but it was a lot.
It was fucking a lot. That's like the whole warehouse that you spent like a week getting in order looks like a bomb went off because everything that had to come off the truck just had to come off the fucking truck. So it's just like, get off the truck, put it on pallets. And then where's the pallets? Like right in the goddamn middle because there's nowhere else to put it. So there's just stuff everywhere. What's it called? Brandy actually said, she's like, I'm actually like surprised that you guys can like what would she say, that everything is like kind of in order here or something like that. And she said something along those lines, and I looked around and I said, what order do you see here? I said, what about this looks in order to you?
Order-ish.
And she was like, well, I mean, like, you kind of know where stuff is. Yeah, I guess. Kinda.
Brandy was here for the Misfit Makers party. So when she came in today and I was getting her, like, set up and everything, I was like, so this is what our showroom looks like normally. Because she was only here when it was spruced up and clean. I'm like, I hide my mess file, right? She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a working environment. Like, I like to do everything in our showroom. And it's weird. Probably weird that we call it a showroom. I don't know, but that's what I'm always going to call it forever. But it's the big room right in the middle of everything. And I'm central to anyone can find me if they need me. I'm usually in there and I can do all my things in there, which is usually FaceTime and vinyl cutting.
I like separate rooms and like things to be dedicated and whatever, and Sarah's open floor plan for everything. She's like, listen, if we can eat, sleep, shit, everything in the same fucking spot, bet, let's do it.
What do you want different rooms for?
Everything.
Like what?
Because then you know where everything is. It's like, right now, like, you can't find anything for any particular category of items that we do or sell because it's all just, like, in one spot.
But, like, what would you change, though? What would you put in a separate room? That's in the showroom. We got nothing else to talk about today. Let's talk about rearranging. Let's talk about...
Well, I'd probably have the print stuff completely quarantined away from everything else. so it's only print stuff. That's a lot of what goes on in that room.
Yeah, because we
Like
don't
the
really have anything
chaos-wise.
else. It was the print room. Well, not really. The print room was, you took the print room, which is actually a better use of that room anyway, because now the print room is your workshop, which I think works better in there anyway, because it's more contained.
Did we actually have the printer in there at one time?
Yeah, we had Jess in there for
Oh, yeah.
hours, weeks.
That
And
room-
then we pulled it out right before we got the second printer.
Well, it's better to have the workshop just sit off like that, just because of the
Absolutely.
mess with I don't extremely often fabricate stuff, I guess, but when I do, it's like messy, with all the sawdust and shit. So
It
that'd
works
probably
so
be
much
insane.
better.
But
And then across from that is the craft room. So, I mean, those things are sectioned off into their own room, but like everything that goes on in the showroom, minus wholesale, which is changed now, it is the way it should be in the shipping room. Everything I think kind of makes sense in there because packing the quack pack happens in there, packing all the sub boxes happens in there, and that's kind of important to have centralized anyway because there's always something. And it's hot in the warehouse.
it's extra bad in there right now because they're
Yes.
still packing,
Yes. The VIPs.
still have VIP bags set up in there, have the misfit boxes in there, and quack packs. All kind of like set up right now too
Which
at the
those
same
things
time,
set
which is
up
like,
actually look really nice. I keep going over there and I keep structuring everything and straightening it up. But the problem is all that damn cardboard and styrofoam. I asked like 4 people today, like, you're sure I can throw away styrofoam? Because the state of New Jersey is going to come for us. There's so much damn styrofoam. But I'm getting it all out of there. I'm getting it all cleaned up. But that's a big problem that we have in there is there's so much cardboard. And you know how much I love breaking down cardboard. It's my favorite thing to do ever. But I've been doing it. Sort of. A little bit. Little bits. I put glitter away today and yesterday. I put sacks away. By the way, I need you to put sacks away.
that was
Jason
my-
would in a heartbeat.
that was
Jason
my-
would in a heartbeat.
So that was my goal actually when we were in our old warehouse, the one before this one, not our first one, but our second one. That's when I was actively looking up production solutions on how larger scale businesses do it, like Amazon specifically, and seeing like, okay, what's like the best way overall to streamline this, like for later? Because one of the things that's actually helping us right now was me being able to repurpose something that we purchased during like the spike of the pandemic in our second assembly line, or production line, I guess should really be called. And that hasn't been used like often. And it's just because I haven't had like a real need to necessarily, versus also training someone to run that second line. And also when it came, there was like a defect with the bottle orientator portion. So I kind of like opted to not use it for a little while too, to just kind of skirt having to deal with that issue. And now that we lost our production person, I'm like, okay, I have to get in front of this glitter machine and start bagging stuff myself, just to try to get caught up and everything. So I'm like bagging it, and like Sarah said, she hates packing orders. One of the part that I hate about filling glitter shakers is putting the lids on.
Same.
I just despise it. It's like just the part that I just don't want to do. I don't mind sitting in front of the machine and just like letting it fill. But what I would usually do is fill up like 20 of them, leave them on my table next to me, and then once I get like my table full, I'll just stand up and start putting caps on all of them. And then you put them in a tub, and then that tub, when you're all done, usually would get pushed outside of the room and then would wait until it was getting labeled. So what I did was I took half of my one production line, basically from the capper on, and I set up a table out there right next to it with my tabletop filler, and I'm out there now, basically just like this. I fill them up, and I have my conveyor belt that's on right next to me, and after I fill it up, I put the bottle right on the conveyor belt, and I just keep going, and they go and they put the caps on automatically, heat seal the caps, and then put the label on. So it's like a semi-automatic production line, but it's taking 2 jobs up that I would have had to either do myself or get somebody else to do later, you know, with the extra steps.
And you don't have to clean the large part of the assembly line, which is the big vat and the tubes and everything. Cleaning that tabletop one is a lot easier, especially when you're doing smaller batches that we were doing this time.
Seconds, honestly. Like less than 5 minutes.
I can turn over one of those machines in an instant. I'm still good with that. I hate order packing, but I can clean out a glitter machine real quick.
Yeah, so that's like what's nice is the turnover. Like, granted, the full production line is super useful as well to do everything start to finish. But like you said, with the amounts I need to do and how many colors I need to pivot in between, especially with like the Quack Pack and stuff, has 3 different glitters in it. So it's like just to keep the ball rolling. It's like, all right, do 100 of these, clean it out. Do 100 of these, clean it out. Do 100 of these, clean it out, and then go back so that the packers can just keep on moving. And that's kind of what we've been doing for the past week, essentially, to keep everything moving. And it sucks because normally you just want to be like, hey, I need 800 of this glitter, do it start to finish 800 and then move on to the next. But that's just not the way we're set up right now with the employee count. So we are having to redo some things a couple times, and it's a little bit suboptimal, but definitely making a lot of plans and changes for the future that I think will honestly simplify what we do and kind of make it a little easier for us.
If anyone's curious, 800 shakers, full shakers on a tabletop machine, cap included, no label, would probably take about, like, with one color, probably like 4.5 hours. 4.5 hours if you don't have to swap colors. Of just filling and capping. If the machine's up to par, because we have so many of those tabletop machines at this point, because there's just parts that go down on this or that, and I don't know how to fix it. And the people that do know how to fix it do not speak my language and do not have time for me. So it's buy another one. We have so many of them, so I have the girls swap them out. If it's going even a little bit slow, swap it, get a faster one, make the scale go quicker.
Yeah, something I was actually thinking about, just because this was a new kind of thing that I implemented in doing the semi-automatic line, was like if we get to the point that we need one of these colors just a little bit faster, I can take one of them tables and put it opposite my table. They can be grab a tabletop machine, they can be filling it with the same exact color that I'm filling it with.
Doing two.
And we're both just putting them on the same conveyor belt, and it's still just going to the same capper, to the same labeler, and the same color will get done twice as fast.
Because they can cap and label quick. It was used to doing all of them.
And it's set up to have a queue behind it anyway, so you could send it as many as you want. That's one of the things, you know, that we're working through is the glitter production, and that's one of the answers essentially that I have short term to help us get through. Is when I figured that out, I'm like rolling everything out of we have what we call the bagging room.
See, we have separate rooms for things.
And I'm rolling out of the bagging room like down the hallway to get over to the production line, and I was like, I wonder if anyone's going to see me and be like, where the hell is he going with this stuff?
We were all
But nobody
busy
saw
working.
me until I was all finished.
We were all busy working.
I saw you guys mess around on your cell phones, play Monopoly.
It's just easy to say because you think I'm always playing Monopoly, which isn't true. I'm only playing in the morning or the afternoon because that's the only time that I got rolled.
Yeah. I only play on days that end in Y.
In the morning or in the afternoon because that's the time I got my dice because I banked them up while I was sleeping, play in the morning, bank them up while I'm working, play on the ride home.
Yeah.
I always think it's funny coming from you, Video Lamer.
I'm obviously not playing at work. Can't.
You've never played at work?
No.
Because we could open up that conversation.
No, those games are literally an hour long, so that's like a hard commitment.
I know.
To start a game in the middle of the workday.
It's like it's a session. It's a gaming session.
Not at like 11:30 when you'd get done your Tumblr orders? Oh, all right.
I watch streams of the game.
All right, well, maybe I misunderstood that you were watching someone else play the game and not playing yourself.
While I was packing orders.
No, this would be when you were done. We talked about it before. Oh. You pack orders from your office?
I just noticed you have all of our ducks out.
I didn't have all of our ducks out, but I didn't move them because by the time this episode airs,
We'll still
it'll be
not
the week
doing
of.
it. Yeah, week of.
That's the
I
worst.
know.
That's actually the worst of them because we will not have all the quack packs shipped by the time this airs.
As he grabs it.
You didn't take that into consideration.
I thought about it briefly.
I hear a little baby out there. She's gonna bust through the door.
Pay no mind to the skull behind the epoxy. But yeah, no, the ducks, I guess, since they're sitting there, I'll talk about them.
Do you want one?
These ducks are... It is!
How long have you been waiting to say that? This one is
I feel like that's got to be on like a popsicle stick. You know, like a popsicle stick joke.
it's like biker duck. Look at him. His
Yeah, he's
vest
got a-
and his
he's got a bro.
tattoos. He's got a bro.
Yeah, you see the bro?
Mm-mm.
It's great.
This one?
Bro...
They're my least favorites.
But anyway, to go with like trying to make things a little more streamlined, the ducks. I wanted to come up with something
I like
newer,
that they sent us Batman and
newer for the ducks, something
Batman
more
Spider-Man dog.
Yeah, something more exciting.
He looks like Batman, but he's got the Spider-Man.
Yeah. So now, seasonally, I'm going to have a duck selection that will be offered. Right now, these are the spooky ones. There's 24 different ones. And
really
these, the
like this
quality of these are so good. These are so much better than any of the ducks I think that we've like ever had. And I'm stoked on it.
Nah, I
But
think
anyway,
in the beginning these were comparable.
From September 1st through Halloween, October 31st, every order will get one of the spooky ducks now. So like basically every day is duck day anymore.
the
But
best kind of duck day.
duck day won't go away.
Look at this one.
The
He's got
third
a little
Sunday of
gray
every
ring.
month will still be duck day or duck hunt day. That day you won't get spooky ducks. You'll get the big D ducks.
Does this count as a spooky duck?
It's a Halloween costume.
Yo, you got the duck ringers today.
So on Duck Day, it'll still be the Big D Ducks with 3 of the Golden Big D Ducks. You still get, which you get a $50 TG gift card if that shows up on your thing or whatever. But I wanted to do something that was just like, I don't know, made more sense with the ducks because I still have just tubs and tubs of random ducks in there that we still just randomly put in orders. But I mean, we've been doing this for over 5 years now, so I thought that, you know, evolving it a little bit, it was time.
I used to do the seasonal thing when we first started, but then those ducks did not become affordable anymore when the pandemic hit.
But even then, it was still just like, you know, you got it when you got it, and there was nothing specific. Like, there's dates attached. There's a structure, guys. Structure. We're going with structure now. We're done with the no more structure because my head's gonna fucking explode. From September fucking 1st to October fucking 31st, you're getting one of the spooky goddamn ducks.
What if we have extra spooky ducks?
Then they're going to sit in a bin until September 1st, 2024, October 31st, 2024. And that's how this is going to go. You're not going to get a spooky duck outside of spooky season. Not going to fucking happen. Not going to happen.
So if there's ducks left over on October 31st, you're going to gather them and put them in a box and label it and put it away somewhere where it belongs? Because I won't even believe it.
Yeah, it's going to go right in the room where the ducks are actually stored. We have a room to store the ducks.
I know that we have a room to store the ducks. I'm curious about who's going to put them in the box, label it, and put it in there. 'Cause
Apparently, it's going to be me.
yeah, well, I think it has to be.
Yes, I know that. From your reaction to the way I was organizing the Dropbox, it's going to have to be me.
What do you mean?
When we were doing the listings for the rhinestones, and you were like,
Was
is this
literally
automatically
obnoxious.
Is this automatically creating
We could talk
folders
about
for
that.
all of the pictures
We could
when
talk
you
about
upload
it.
them?
I wasn't going to talk about
I
it because I
said,
didn't want to
No, they're not
take
automatically.
a jab, but I mean, it's fine.
They're not automatically doing it. I'm doing it. She's like, why?
I didn't say it like
The
that.
whole fucking system crumbles if we don't have organization in the background.
One folder to rule them all.
No.
Icon folder.
No.
Rhinestone icons. And then you name them.
Sarah likes her digital files the way she likes her warehouse. All in one spot. Everything in one place.
Because I can go faster. So I'm making a listing, right? Do the listing, drag. Do the listing, drag. Do the listing,
no
drag.
way.
But for Jason, you can't drag because you got to go back. And then you have to go back to the top, scroll back down to the bottom. Because now you've made it to the bottom of the alphabet. And that's longer than the little screen that you get. So you got to scroll, scroll, scroll. Mm-hmm. When you could just be in the same damn folder.
No. No, because then if there's anything specific that's being done with that color specifically, any pictures that have to do with that specific color get saved in its folder. Then
What
I
would
can
happen?
find it for later.
What would happen?
I'll never find it. Do you know how many files we have in our Dropbox? Like almost 2 terabytes of files in our Dropbox, and you want it all in one shared folder?
No, one
Crazy.
shoulder that says rhinestone icons.
Fuck no.
It works for
That's not even
glitter and
rhinestone icons. Yes,
and vinyl.
The folder that says rhinestone icons. Then under that is a subfolder for each color, and then those are the icons for each individual.
Vote in the comments, guys. Do you want to open a folder for one picture every single damn time, or do you just do one folder, rhinestone icons, and put all the damn things in there with their names? I just thought it took him twice as long to name all them damn folders and open them up and then get back out of it, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're doing 75 colors, I just thought you were punching yourself. I wasn't trying to like make it.
No,
like you
I'm
were doing
setting
anything
myself
wrong.
up for success later, because if I keep making shortcuts today, then in a month when I have to find these files and I can't find them and I'm like, God damn it, I might as well just retake the pictures, then I'm doing the same work twice that could have been avoided if I would have just had organizational skills from the beginning.
But necessarily
Setting
say
yourself
that you're
up for success
setting it
later.
up for success later because they would all still be in the same spot.
No.
Yeah. And it's fine that you did it that way. It's
I know.
You're getting
It
annoying
is superior because I did it that way.
I wish that you did everything superior because it's funny that you pick and choose like that.
Any file that I have made in that Dropbox is in a very specific folder, very specifically named, and can be found pretty damn easy. Those are the biggest facts.
So which room in this warehouse are we gonna dedicate to you and all your craziness? Like when you just decide to build a huge Barbie box out of cardboard that's like flopping all over the place. You're like, there's my prototype. I'm done. And then you're out of there. And then you just leave all your chaos
And then I said it's
around.
trash after that. It was trash.
It's trash, people.
Yes.
I'm people.
Yeah. I still had employees during that time. I had
Barely.
3 more employees at that time than I do today. So one of them could have taken the cardboard to the dumpster while I was physically building all of the photo opportunities for the expo by myself.
You're fired
So
up
I am
today, sir.
sorry that somebody had to throw away cardboard
It was
while I
me.
was physically fucking building stuff.
You weren't physically building stuff when I threw it away.
All right. I'll make sure 24 hours a day that these hands are swinging hammers and turning drills.
You'd be happy.
So that when you turn at any given moment, you can't say that I wasn't fucking doing nothing.
I didn't say that.
That's what you're implying.
No.
Yes.
I'm implying that your folders for your rhinestone photos are a little bit much and that
And somehow that turned into a complaint about a cardboard prototype for a fucking project to make your fucking event cooler.
no, I was more showing your
Yes.
organization.
Yes.
Did I look like that when I said it?
You did.
Sir, you were fired up today. We
I
have
am.
another live to do tonight together, and this is going to be
I
good.
know it's going to get extreme. When jabs get taken saying that I'm not fucking doing enough when I'm doing 20 jobs, yes, I get fired up.
Oh, that's not what I was saying. If I was going to take a jab at that, it would have sounded a little bit better.
Let me hear the jab then.
No, I don't
Because I'll
want to.
flip this fucking table.
I can't because you've been doing the most lately.
You just don't want the table flipped now.
No, I don't really care about the table.
Yeah, because I built it. If you built the fucking table, you would have cared.
You are fired up, sir. These folders got you raring.
They do.
I still think it's over.
It wasn't even about the folders. The folders was fine. It was about the cardboard.
Because you felt guilty, I feel like.
No, I did not feel guilty at all.
Now I'm just fueling the fire at this point. Now I'm just poking the bear and just having my fun. Now that that's over.
Anyway,
Guys, being in the
spooky
office,
season starting in September, and you can get spooky rubber ducks.
being a fly on the wall in the office of this whole place is definitely the best job anyone could ever have. But I know you love me most of the time. Sometimes, of
The
course.
best job. And if anyone needs a job,
We're no longer hiring for the flies, but we are hiring for order packers.
oh. Now's the time that I need Taylor's dad jokes, but I don't have any.
You want to call Taylor's dad right now? That was funnier in my head, but it's whatever. Oh, that's the shirt you wore for your spooky video. I'm happy about that.
That's because I shot the video today.
Yep. You alright?
No. It's like,
What the livelies are really like!
the only thing that gets me more fired up than someone messing up my event is someone talking shit about my boxes.
So I could talk shit about other things?
Yeah.
Do you have a list of stuff I can talk shit about? Because we can keep going.
Hang on, let me consult the list.
Ah! You're a good time, Jason Lively.
That's what they say.
Some people say that, not everyone.
Just wind me up and see what happens.
No, no one wind this man up and see what happens.
I was gonna try to look up stories, but
You
I
were
don't
gonna
think we
look up
need
a story right now, sit there and read it, and then tell us.
that's what I've done that in the past.
You are a very quick reader. Me, on the other hand, not so quick.
It's all about the headline anyway.
That's true.
Sorta. And boy, do you. We took Alex to her first baseball game last night. We made a fatal error. So it was a 6 p.m. game, or a 4 p.m. game. My poor girl turns into a pumpkin at 6, 7 o'clock. She's like a, what did I call her earlier? It was good. Whatever it was funny. And we made a fatal error by stopping home. Me and Jason got changed. We changed Alex, and then we left. What we should have done is changed Alex, got dino nuggets, then left. And we got to the ball game, and she's half being okay because she's excited about what's going on, and then kind of forgetting for periods that she's starving to death, I'm sure is what she thought. So, you know, she'd be spurts of great Alex, and then spurts of, I'm hungry, I don't know what to do with all this energy inside my body, I'm just gonna scream until you feed me. And then by the time we got the food to her, which we were doing the whole time we were there, it's just I had to get out of line with her because she does not wait in line. She waits in line a little bit worse than I do. She was too far melted to feed her. We had the spoonful of water ice, 2 French fries, spoonful of water ice, 2 French fries kind of thing, and then just take what we could get. But then she really enjoyed it.
She was in like a unique mood right off the rip though, because
Correct.
normally she's fine with leaving here. She's like, go home. And then she didn't want to leave here. She was
No.
like pissed. Did not want to leave.
She actually sat there and just stared at the bookcase because I was like, Alex, you want to go? No. All right, well, do you want to go because we're going to go to the ball game? No. And then she just stared at the bookcase, and she had this face on that was like, and I'm like, hello, Alex, and she's just not moving. I was like, are you not talking to me? For like the whole time I was there, I was like, Alex, talk to me. And she just stared, not moving a muscle, literally until I left. And then she just resumed, like, Mom, I will not speak to you. I will not leave this place. I'm busy.
Yeah, we get home, and then she didn't even want to get out of the car. We got home, and she wanted to stay in the car, which is also abnormal. She's usually stoked when we get home. She's like, yeah, I can water the flowers with Mom. I run inside. I can see Loki, hang out, run right in my tent, dive in head first. No, pissed. Did not want to get out of the car. Get her out of the car, get her into the house, calm her down in the house, which took a minute. Then she didn't want to leave the house.
No.
She was like, wanted to stay. And by the time Sarah got ready, I get her like, I'm like, hey,
It
we're
took
going to
a
go to the
minute.
baseball game. It's going to be fun. So eventually Sarah gets ready and she comes out and she's like, all right, you ready to go? And Alex goes to the front door and she's like, open. And I'm like, all right, she's fired up. This is great. Open the door. She wants to like walk to the park. I'm like, come on, we got to go in the van. We're going to go to the ball game. Pissed again. I'm like, dude, this is like 4 times in a row that I'm going to have to like calm you down, which is very abnormal. And it was kind of like writing on the walls that this is going to be a little bit of an interesting baseball game. Yeah, she was just in a mood. She's right now like a wind-up toy, man. Like, as soon as you get her home, her
I just
feet
love her.
just do this. They just gotta go somewhere, anywhere, right? Like,
Usually around the dining room, the kitchen bar.
best thing we ever did was have the bar cut to be an island because she just does laps now when we get home. Like, it's
gets
actually
zoomies.
crazy. I don't even know where it came from, but she just gets super fired up, and that was the time that she's just like, hey man, I want to go running. And I'm like, sweetie, you gotta hang out in the car for a little. We're like in line to park. She's chill. We get there, and once we park, she's like, yes, let's go. Time to run. We're like, all right, let's go. We get her out of the car, and she's like, pew, starts like running.
She's fast.
Running. And I'm like, dude, there's like cars in this parking lot. Gotta go slow, take the sidewalk, follow her, get her in, get in the stadium. As soon as she gets in the stadium, she's like, look at all this stuff. Run. And she just, right in front of everybody. And also, I feel like I had a sign on my head that said, like, please walk in front of me yesterday. Like, it was aggressive. The way that people were just like, say I'm walking in a line here, and they're walking in a line here. I see them the whole way. Like a quarter mile, they've been walking straight. And as soon as they get here, they're like, you know what? Fuck it, I want to go somewhere over there. And I'm like, what? Because Alex is right here in front of me, right?
They
And we're
can't
like
see
kind
her.
of guiding her, and they're just like trying to trample her. I'm like, ah! Pick her up. Sweetie, you're going to get trampled. She loses it. Down.
She's a walking girl.
I think we made it. I think we sat for
20 minutes, you said?
like 2 to 3 innings. I think we made it,
We
actually.
had really good seats.
The seats were awesome. We were 2 rows off of the outfield. We were row 2, literally like dead center field. Our row was a short row too. It only had 3 seats, so it was just us 3 in them seats, which was pretty cool. A few balls came flying like kind of in our general direction, and I was like, the one time you were looking down at your phone and you were like whoa, and
I didn't
was
know
like,
what was going to happen in those seats.
I was
It
like,
came
no,
right
babe,
into
these
the
are.
stand.
I said these are Monopoly free seats. I said you play Monopoly here, you gonna catch a ball to the dome.
So I don't watch a lot of baseball, and I definitely don't go to a lot of baseball games. And when I do, it's for the tailgate anyway. But so I was sitting there with Alex, and I guess like the outfielders during practice, they come and throw a ball into the stands, and everyone knew that this was happening
That was
apparently
wild.
because they were waiting for
This
us.
interaction. Is that where you're
Especially
going?
the little boy that was leaning over the gate to like catch it. And I don't know if they just didn't see him or whatever. They're just like, not today, buddy. And they just threw it into the stands, and this other guy caught it and kept it. Fine. And then a few minutes later, a little bit later, another ball got thrown into our section, but the guy right in front of us caught it. And he was like, yeah. And then he looks over at the little boy and he does one of these. He's like, you. And it was really sweet. He threw it to the little boy. The little boy was so happy. The parents thanked him. It was great. And then we were just going on with the day. And I heard the lady in front of me yell down to her husband, how many girls do we have? And he's like, 3. And then they were just kind of like, they sounded like they were talking nice, but the context of what they were saying did not sound like they were talking nice. I could not understand what's happening. So our section's like this, and there's another section right next to us that's like this. And I know it's not like a square, it's just like it was very close to us. So there's people on this side, there's here, and I see the dad or the man talking to this other dad that's on this side and his wife is pretty aggressive. But again, the words that she is saying sounds like she's trying to have a nice conversation. Her face said otherwise. And I heard a bit of what they were saying, but here the mom is like just digging into this dude for not giving one of her daughters the ball. And mind you, so the guy's watching you have to like know which way the field is, right? The guy's watching the game here. The little boy's here, and the field is like this way. So he's only looking this way. In his peripheral is this little boy, not your 3 girls. Mind you, there's 3 of them, and there's 1 of him. He's got a mitt. Where's your little girl's mitts? Anyway, so the woman keeps laying into him and was like, I've been a softball coach for X amount of years, so I'm used to this kind of behavior. People are always passing over the girls for the boys in sports like this, but you don't know that these girls can catch balls too, but you don't even give them the time of day, and just like really laying into him, but being nice about it.
Nuts.
And the guy's just like, I'm never going to do this to fuck again, so it really doesn't matter. And he's like staring straight at this point. And the wife is 3 seats down from him, because it was like the 2 wives and then the 2 guys. And she's like, yeah, I think you ruined him forever. I don't think he's ever going to do a very nice gesture like that. I'm so sorry we didn't see your girls over there. And I was just like, holy crap. And the husband of the wife is quite embarrassed, and he's like, obviously I have to back this woman up because I gotta go home with her, but I do want her to shut up also, but like, you could have just gave my daughters the balls because they're right here. And I'm just like, wow.
People are so angry today.
It was actually insane, because the whole thing that she was explaining happened literally like right next to me, because like our 3 seats, it was like Sara, Alex, me, and then those people.
Yeah, you were closer.
Those people were right here. They were next to me. The guy, I was like looking him in the eyes as he was talking shit to the one that caught the ball. So what had happened was, like Sara said, when they're doing their practice in between the innings, they had the ball. Schwarber went to throw it into the stands. He shorted the throw. It hit the wall right in front of the little boy. So the ball has to get thrown. So I can't remember who our center fielder is, but the center fielder come running over because Schwarber was then too far from it. So real quick before the inning starts, he just grabs it and throws it straight up, and it goes to the guy instead of the little kid. So the guy gets it.
So you were trying to throw it to the kid.
Oh yeah, and it was the same ball. Like that's just the only difference in the stories, is it was the one ball.
That makes it even better that it was literally
exactly. It was
for the
meant
boy.
for the kid in the first place, right? Meant for the kid. It gets shorted in the throw. They throw it up. The guy saw that the kid was supposed to get it, so he goes, "Yo, buddy!" And the kid's like, "Oh," and he throws it to him, and he's like, "Thank you," and everything's
a really
like
sweet moment.
And you think everything's cool, and then that's when the guy that's sitting right here, who's the dad, was like, "Yo, you couldn't give that to my daughter, dude?" And first I was like, "Who the fuck says that?" And then that wasn't it. Like, that was only the tip of the iceberg. Because then he's like, girls always get skipped, and it's always the boys that get stuff, and the little girls never get anything. And the guy was like, "I'm sorry, if I get another, I'll definitely give it to your daughters."
I remember that part.
And then that's when the wife chimes in, and it wasn't enough. Like, the wife was like, it's just like really ridiculous that like guys always, the little boys always get everything, and little girls always get skipped in these events, and blah, blah, blah. And she just like, dude, she's just going. And the guy starts feeling so awkward that you can tell that he's just like, you know what? I gotta shut you up somehow. So he's like, I could have just fucking kept it.
I remember that.
That's what he said. And he's like, you're not wrong, dude, right? Like, that ball got thrown to you. It's your prerogative to keep that shit or give it to somebody else. He gave it to a child, and he's getting berated because he didn't give it to the right child. And it's just like, what the fuck, dude? So it's like crazy that a parent would go off on someone for giving something to a child. Like, it's insane to me that was happening. Yeah. I saw that. Dude, I was like, and I'm thinking the whole time he's saying there, I'm like, dude, if he gets another ball, I have a daughter right next to me, and I'm going to plead with this dude, like, please give it to my daughter so that I can say that you still gave it to a girl, and I can kind of just like flip these people off for you. Because it's like nuts. Or I'll just jump over your head and snatch it so that you don't have to be involved. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
It was wild.
It's just chancing. It's a baseball, man.
The mom started standing up out of her chair and everything at one point. I'm like, oh.
She didn't stop. She kept leaning into him, and he was like, when he was like, I could have just kept it, and she just kept saying stuff, and he's like, I don't know what you want me to do. And then, like Sara said, then the guy who caught its wife is like starting to say stuff to just like try and curb it. She's like, I'm pretty sure that you ruined him doing nice things for kids forever. She said that to the lady, and like the lady's not like grasping.
Yeah, oh yeah, they were having a good time in front of us.
all parties involved were like, having drinks and stuff while they were hanging out or whatever.
They were already having drinks by the time we got to our seat. The drink guy was hanging out.
It's a 4:00 game, and we left before 6 p.m. So even at this time, it wouldn't have been 6. So like, how much could you have possibly drank to be just like such a dickhead? Like, I don't even think alcohol could be like part of the excuse for the way they were acting, because there wasn't even enough time to be that inebriated.
No, the guys in front of us were the kind of drink at the point where they were drinking where it was like, two couples out having a good time. They're feeling good. They're feeling goofy. They're not wasted or anything. They were just feeling good at that point. I have no idea if they were drinking over here. I honestly think they might have been kind of sober and they're just kind of sticks in the mud.
Wow.
Like, it looks like they're kind of like that all the time.
It's
like,
actually impressive to do that sober.
I really couldn't.
Like, you guys owe me. I'm here. Didn't you know I'm here? You owe me for that.
Entitlement. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm here too.
I feel like the only time that like
slip
shit
into my
talking,
seat.
I feel like the only time shit talking would have been warranted was if he would have kept it. If it was like meant for the kid, and then they threw it up, and he's like, haha, sucks to suck, came to me on the second round.
Which would have had nothing to do with the family.
Exactly,
on
it
this side.
still meant nothing for the other family. They weren't even a part of the equation.
Even if he didn't see that ball was for that little boy, which is something that I missed also, the way that this man's seat is positioned, because they're all kind of in an awkward thing. It's not in a square. He can't see them. He's not looking at them. Like, he sees that boy by default by just watching the game. This boy's right here in his side view, and he sees him with his glove. Like, he doesn't have any reason to look over there at all. There's no game over there. There's nothing over there. We're at the back of the field. Some people are just crazy.
It's never.
So that was fun.
Yeah, of course. Something had to have spawned that, though. Like, they must have been at a baseball game the day before and got skipped also. For it to, like, for that fast to just fire up, like, on a stranger about him giving a baseball to another child is, like, there had to have been something else. Like you said, you never know what anyone else is going through at any given time. So...
But that doesn't.
But it's just no. That was just like, it was definitely unwarranted. What they did in that situation.
I wonder how the rest of the game went. I should have gave him my card. Hey,
are you serious?
Give him my card. Could you guys send me an email later and fill me in on everything else that happened? If this guy popped off again, I'm curious to know.
We'll have you on Craft
Here's my Instagram.
Yeah, tell us the whole story in our podcast.
Right.
We finally, after all that went down, Alex was finally like, all right, guys, I've had enough of baseball. I'm getting up out of my seat. Can we go back up these really cool long steps? Because I want to climb them, which we did not let her climb them. Because if you've ever gone to a stadium like that, the steps are long. It would take her forever. Mm-hmm. So we get her up there, and it's only 5:30 at this point. Her bedtime is 6, but she hasn't eaten a ton yet. And, we're still like chilling. She still seems fine. So I was like, we could just do a lap. Like, whatever, we're still here. Let's just do a lap. She found a set of steps that leads to the bar section, which is a nice section for adults, but not for her. So she goes up the steps, and I'm like, all right, let's walk this way. And as soon as you go that way, it's a bar. And what do people do at the bar? They stand there. So then there's a narrow path that people are politely leaving for people to walk through quickly and efficiently, Alex. So she's like doing her thing, and I'm standing there like trying to guide this tiny thing between all these people's legs. And now we're in a different kind of area than we were in the first place, because it was a big open area, and this is the adults. They're at the bar. They're trying to watch the game. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to trample on her. That path leads to a ramp. So now she thinks it's a real thing. She goes down the ramp, and then she goes up the ramp, cross the path, down the steps. This is great. Turn around, up the steps, down the path, down the ramp. This is awesome. I'm like, oh, do one more, because at the end of that ramp is the door to leave. I was like, we're going to do one more of these. We're going to ping pong her back down the ramp. As soon as she gets down that ramp, babe, you got to be ready to swoop her up. We're out of here, because she's going to be pissed. And she was.
Furious. I was like, all right,
pissed.
sweetie, time to go. It's bedtime. Oh, you would have thought that I spiked her on the ground like a football. Dude, I never had her lose it like that before. That was like, because usually she'll just be like pissed, and I'm like, it's fine, sweetie. Like, we're gonna go home, we're gonna get something to eat. She's like, all right, yeah. Like, logic kind of sits in. There was no logic to get through to her on this one, dude. It was like
Infant rage.
She was trying to swing on me. Dude, I'm telling you, she was like,
She
thought she was gonna beat you.
yeah, she was like, Jip, you put me down right now, you catch these hands, I'm telling you right now. It's just so funny because she's like giving it her all, right? She's just like, I'm gonna get you. And I was just like, with 2 fingers, I was like, we don't hit. We don't hit. And then I just went like this. And she's like trying to, yeah! And we're walking, I'm just going, you just gotta, just bring it down. Let's just bring it down. We're like halfway to the car and she's just like, you know what? I like this. And she's just like, starting to go down, like getting real calm and quiet. We get just about to the car and I'm just like, all right, sweetie, I gotta put you in the car seat. Ah! I thought we were cuddling!
right before we got to the car, as soon as we got across the street and into what is still technically a street, but they block it off in between the parking lots, I guess now. So Jason put her down and let her walk because that's what she looked like she wanted to do. So we put her down and immediately, like it was like so quick, she turned around and darted back to the stadium. And she was like,
I knew my way back.
Baseball! She yells baseball. I'm like, oh my God. And there's this lady coming up the parking on the other side and she just looks over. She was like, oh my God. And was like laughing and I'm like, oh my God. But like also like, please, for the love of, get over here. Well, and luckily they block it off. There's no cars that can get through there at this point.
Closed off area.
Slow moving, backing out. And
But that is still like a street, I guess. I don't know when they started blocking that off, but I like it. But she just right back. She's like, I know where those steps are and where that ramp is, and I gotta go.
You know, it's funny. I wonder what would have happened if you just like followed her. Like, just where's she actually?
She would have went back to the steps. I swear.
telling-
She did it to me at Sesame Place a few days ago. Jason actually went out and hung out with his friends over the weekend. It was lovely. And so I took Alex to Sesame Place because we have season passes. And I'm like, it'll be quick and easy to do, but there's a splash pad there. I'm not doing the splash pad that day. I don't want to. You have to go all the way up in there with her, and I just don't want to. So we dressed accordingly for that. A dress. That's what she was wearing. So we're at Sesame Place, and Big Bird comes out onto like the main drag and everything, and I'm like, oh, come on, let's get her out of the stroller, let's watch it. She looked like she wanted to get out of the stroller, so I put her down and she just starts walking, and I'm like, where are you going? Big Bird's here, like Elmo, Abby, they're all right there, but she's walking that way. So I'm like, all right, well, can we at least walk this way? Because I left a coach back there. Let's walk the other way. So I get her to the stroller where there's a little bit more room for us to stand. I'm like, there's Big Bird, let's watch the show. She turns around and walks behind her, away from Big Bird. And I'm like, all right, well, maybe you don't want to watch the show. Let's go. So we're walking and I'm following her. I'm like, you lead the way then, girlfriend. I'm pushing her. And the next thing I know, we're at the splash pad.
Of course.
She knew exactly how, like, she didn't know how to get back there because she was initially walking the wrong way, but she was going to walk until she found it and she did not care.
She's pretty good at like finding stuff, and I think a lot of that stuff you're just like, how
Yeah.
can you remember that? And it's just like, take for granted that a kid's head does not have a shit ton of memories in it. Not like we have, you know? It's like any place that you've ever been,
My filing
I've ever
cabinet's
been,
quite full at this
Yeah.
point.
and even if you've only been there once, you have some sort of a minute recollection of like, you know, that's why when you go there again, even if it's been years, you're like, this is kind of familiar, right?
Me, not me, mostly you.
For her, though, she's only been a very finite amount of places, so it's just like, it's honestly not that impressive. And you know, once you think about it, it's like, oh, okay, you only have like 5 places to remember.
Right, exactly.
Like where it's like she knows how to walk to the park from my house. Right. Granted, it's like right at the end of our street, but like she's only been to so many parks. There, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
So
She knows.
But she retains the hell out of all of it. Wherever she's got to go, she is ready to get there and knows the way. At least pretends to.
Oh yeah, her confidence is up there, and she'll get there.
Yep.
Oh, I miss her. I'm excited to play with her after this.
Is it time?
I mean, we're
Probably about
getting
time.
there.
Feels like time.
I feel like that's not the way you end Craft Tea, but I suppose this is like one of those episodes where it's just like, whatever. You just watch us fight for a little bit, watch us fawn over our kid, and then we're out of here.
Well, as long as we filled the time slot up enough, there's not anything more that I think that I need to look for more topics because
No.
I'm sure I'll think of something after the fact and talk about it next week. Whatever. Or never talk about it. I don't care. Bottle it up and keep it deep, deep down inside
That's what you like to do.
with all of my emotions.
It's not funny.
It would be funny, but he bottled that one up too.
Nah, look at that.
Normally, I'd say let's get back to work, but
There's 40 minutes left, sir.
well, you get back to doing whatever you were doing, and I'm gonna get back to work.
The kettle and never the kettle the pot.
Now, pour
I
the
know you are because I'm working.